There really is nothing like being out in the garden and doing a little planting, prepping the soil and getting your fingers dirty. Just is always relaxing and enjoyable. Even if you have a few rocks out in the garden, which even after all these years we still get a few rocks in there. Today we're going to be planting some carrots, and prepared the soil last fall by adding a lot of organic matter, a little bit of fertilizer, tilled that all in, and then just last night went through it with the tiller again, just loosened the soil up, got it all fluffy, and got that little bit of organic matter that hadn't decomposed over the winter, got that worked into the soil. And so I'm just preparing to plant some carrots. So we're going to plant carrots. I like to take my rake, get my row all kind of raked out and smooth so that we can plant those carrots. And that's all it takes, is just a nice smooth planting bed that's ready to plant. At this point I like to put a little bit of fertilizer in, and so a little fertilizer for that carrot to really help it get that root system established and get it going once it starts to germinate. And the Natural Guard Organic Plant Starter is an excellent fertilizer. It's all natural, it's OMRI certified, has a lot of beneficial microbes and bacteria, mycorrhiza and archaea included in with the natural fertilizers to help release that nutrient, help the plants get established quicker, develop a root system much faster, and it just helps it create that microscopic root hair with the mycorrhiza. It'll go out in search of water and nutrient and just make your plants grow like crazy and produce what you want, which with the carrots is hopefully carrots. So what we want to do is put that fertilizer down first. And we're going to just like sprinkle that over the area, and then we're going to work it in really, really lightly. It's a nice uniform granule, this fertilizer. And what's great about it is that you can put it right in the row with the seeds when you plant. So just a light sprinkle, usually about, I'd say about a cup for a 10-foot row, but we're doing a wider row here, and so I'm going to sprinkle it through this whole area where we're going to plant those carrots. Then I like to kind of work it into the soil a little bit with the rake again. So I'll just like work that in quickly. Just kind of work that into the soil, and then it'll be down in where the root system is right when those plants start coming up. All right, get that fertilizer worked into the soil there. Got that starter fertilizer worked into the soil. And once we get that worked in, then we can put our carrots in. I brought two different varieties. I brought the rainbow carrots, and the rainbow carrots are a combination of orange, yellow, white, red, and purple carrots, and they're just a lot of fun to grow. So when you pick them, it's almost like a surprise, because you never know what's going to come up. But the rainbow carrots are great. I really like the sweet ingot carrots also, and long, cylindrical in shape, probably the sweetest carrot that we've ever grown. That ingot's wonderful. But let's plant the ingot and pop that open. Now I like to have the seeds, you don't want them too close, but carrots are difficult to get to germinate sometimes. And so as we sprinkle those out, we'll try and get a seed or two every inch if possible. And like I said, I like to have kind of a wider row of carrots, and then if they come up nice and thick, then we'll have to thin those out. And the wind doesn't make it that easy to plant sometimes also, but there's the carrots. Just kind of sprinkled those out. Now I'll rake them again just lightly to kind of work them into the soil. So just almost exactly like we did with the fertilizer. So we just want those carrots to be barely covered up. And then I like to cover them up with a little something to help hold the moisture, because the carrots, they're difficult to get to germinate. You almost got to keep them wet all the time. And so we use a little bit of coconut coir, and this coconut coir is the exterior of the coconut husk, and they've shredded it all up, and it's a wonderful soil amendment. Helps your soil retain moisture, loosens up and lightens up clay soil, but it's really amazing at how much moisture it'll hold, and it holds that moisture for a long time, doesn't dry out very quickly. So You take a brick like this and you throw it in a gallon of water, and this brick will just hydrate up that water. It'll just absorb it all. And so I put some in the wheelbarrow right here, and that's what it looks like when it gets hydrated up. And it's a perfect amendment to cover up those carrots with, because it holds that moisture so well. It's better even than peat moss, and a lot better than most compost because of its ability to hold moisture. And then it doesn't break down really quickly over time. So we're going to take this. I put a bunch of bricks in here and about 9 gallons of water, and we can use that to cover up, just to cover up those carrots and help that soil retain the moisture right where we put those down. There's nothing like a little bit of mulch to cover up those carrots, to get them to hold that water as we start trying to get those to germinate. So we'll spread that over our soil, kind of pack it in there. What I like to do is, once I get the carrots down, get the mulch on top of it, I like to step on them just a little bit. So once I get that compost all the way through the area where we planted the carrots, I'll just go through and just kind of step on them lightly, and just to get that soil to compact down. And then it's going to stay in place a lot better. The wind won't blow it around. Kind of mashes the carrots down into the soil, down into those grooves that we dug with the rake. And it's going to keep them in place, and then when we water it, then that won't wash away. So we can use a watering can to water, we can use a soaker hose. I'll end up setting up my soaker hose, but we can use that water with the coconut coir down there. It's amazing how much moisture it's going to hold, and those carrots are going to germinate so much better because that coconut coir is there to hold that moisture. We'll set up our soaker hose. It'll go right down the center of those carrots, and when we water, I'll water for about 3 or 4 hours, and it will saturate that whole seed bed area and keep those carrots nice and moist. During the summer, I'm only going to be watering about once a week to keep the carrots happy. We'll do a good deep soak where the roots can go down and find that water, and the carrots will do amazing. So easy to plant those carrots. Critical that we get them a little bit of fertilizer to get things started. Water them with a little Kangaroots or mycorrhiza to get those going, and the coconut coir over the top, and we're ready to enjoy carrots all summer long.